This is me at Pep Boys. Ooh, ooh.
Go off, Delta!
Monday was a good day. Monday was supposed to be a good day. Monday was supposed to be a great day. And Monday turned into a pile of shit. It was a hot day. The heat index has been up in LA. It's just the way it's been. It's always like that. Like end of August, beginning of September, everyone thinks June and July are going to be warm. California, it's never that way. It's always hot. August, September, sometimes even into October. Anyway, it was a hot day. But I wanted to make a few donations to the thrift store. There's so many really good things that I have that don't need to be thrown away, but I don't have any use for anymore. Framed art, some clothes, lots of things that I bought that I've worn on the show that somebody else could give life to. So I was going to make this donation. So I filled up the car. The 2 back seats were full of like storage thingies, some vases, books. The trunk had 3 filled to the top, tied in a knot, contractor bags full of clothing. I was ready to go. I was driving down Leffingwell in the city of Whittier. Santa Fe Springs into Whittier, just behind La Mirada. I'm driving down, and as I go to accelerate, the car says something like low power surge, something about low power. And I realized that the car is not off, but it's not accelerating. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to happen in an intersection. And I've said this before, if the car dies in an intersection, I'm just parking it and leaving it. I'm not going back. I'm not Fred Flintstoning it. I'm not pushing it. I'm not doing any of that because I'm lazy. Not because I'm so privileged, not because I'm so rich. All of these problems boil down to one thing. I am so lazy. Oh, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I realized that I'm going down this hill and I'm like, you know what? Let me just pull to the side. Maybe, I don't know, there's a light. Maybe something can happen. So I pull off to the side and I stop the car. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to have this towed to a repair shop. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Now, I have roadside assistance and everyone always says, get AAA. You have to have AAA. I had AAA with a car in the past. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. But my car insurance already pays for roadside. So what do I need AAA for? I know it's only $100 a year and you get this, that, and the other, and you save 10% if you go to Holiday Inn Express or whatever. I'm not doing all that. I'm not remembering all the codes. I don't want the magazine. I just need the roadside that comes with the car insurance. So I call the roadside and you have to give them the number and the last 5 of the VIN and the this and the that. She takes the information and she says, all right, you're covered up to 500 miles or $500 or whatever. You're going to get a text message that tells you when your car is going to come. So she tells me when the car is going to come. By the way, before all of this, I call Pep Boys because I'm like, it's the closest thing to me. I know everyone says it's a scam, whatever. I'm ignorant. I don't know what's a scam and what's not a scam. I'm just going to go to a national thing. And the only national thing there is Pep Boys. And I've gone to Pep Boys before, which by the way, I should have learned my lesson a long time ago because one time I went to Pep Boys and I had to have something done with my fuel line and my oil something. And guess what happened? They forgot to connect the brake fluid line. And I was driving down the freeway one time and the brakes failed because there was no brake fluid anymore. And I had to coast off into someone's lawn. And you know what they gave me to fix that? They said that they were going to give me 6 months of free oil changes. Well, I don't get my oil changed that often. That's not gonna, I almost died. But anyway, that was another situation. It was a long time ago. Mistakes happened, whatever. I almost died. Maybe they were going to do me a favor. So I call Pep Boys this time. Different Pep Boys, different situation. I tell them, this is the warning I'm getting. By the way, I Googled as well, and it said, oh, this is what it could be. And I believe Google, sort of. The guy says, sure, you can bring it in. So then I get on the phone, and then the lady says, you're going to get a text message about the car that's coming, because they outsource the tow truck to like a local company. They said it's going to be there in half an hour. Not a problem. So I'm sitting on the curb, on the asphalt, on Leffingwell in Whittier, waiting for this thing. And there's like people riding bikes by, and I feel like I'm in the way. And then it's hot. By the way, I've been getting my eye injections and all that, so I can't can see anything. And I'm like, well, I looked crazy. I had not had my hair cut in forever. So I had that little bit of like my gray, thinning hair. I just looked like wiry and crazy, insane person. An hour passes and the tow truck doesn't come. So then I call them and I say, hey, truck is not here. Do you know when it's going to come? Oh, they haven't messaged you? No, they haven't messaged me. Okay, well, we'll message them. So then they have me on hold. Then they say, oh, well, we have sights on them. They say they're only 6 minutes away. Great, no problem. So then I'm waiting. It's now been 2 hours, 6 minutes away and 2 hours. So then I call back another number. By the way, there was the roadside number, then the number they texted me from, the number that they gave me for the local company, and then another number that they called me from to tell me that they were going to send me an update that they were supposed to send me an hour and a half ago. So I have all these numbers to contact, but none of those numbers are in communication with one another for this emergency roadside assistance. I then get a text message from a local number, and it's the car. And it says, what address am I coming to? So the roadside knew what address they were sending the tow truck to, but they didn't give that to the tow truck company, or they gave it to the outsourced company, but the outsourced company didn't give it to the actual tow truck. So they didn't know where they were going to, but they had my phone number. So then I tell him, I'm giving you the address of where I am. But where I am doesn't actually have an address because it's a brick wall that goes for about 600 feet. So I'm giving you the blazoned address across the street from where my car is. There's only one building with one address, and that's the address I'm giving you. Okay, great. So then another 20 minutes pass, and he shows up. And I see him pull up into the driveway of this place. And then he calls me, hey, we need the code number to get in the gate. And I said, I'm not in that building and I'm not in that gate. I'm across the street from where you are. And he goes, oh, he's across the street. So then he has to go up and make a U-turn. By the way, he could have just made a U-turn, but instead he went all the way up and then he came back. Come to find out, he's training that day. And the person who's in the passenger seat of this tow truck is training him on how to do this entire job. Now, I got all the time in the world for people learning their job. We all get a chance at being new. We all get a chance. But you know my nerves. It was the heat index, baby. I'm sitting on the asphalt. I just want you to see me. Imagine me waiting on the asphalt. You know, I looked like a melted candle. You know, I was just sitting there. I looked like one of those AI videos where it's like those gelatinous people that break up into like a pool of soup. That's what I looked like. And he pulls up and he's like, oh, he's across the street. So he comes over and they get out of the car. Now, here's something else that I notice, but I don't have to be told, but I just acknowledge and I just digest and I say, this is going to be what it's going to be. Where am I supposed to sit in the tow truck back to Pep Boys? There's already somebody in the passenger seat. So the emergency tow truck ride to the Pep Boys doesn't have a ride for me. So now I'm going to have to pay for an Uber to go to Pep Boys, to follow my car over to Pep Boys. So that's what I do. So then I Uber over and get the car there. I go in, really nice guy, same guy I talked to on the phone. He tells me, we're not going to even be able to look at this at all until tomorrow. All right. You know what? It's going to be what it's going to be. The car looked like you know what that is? That's the sound of Sanford and Son. That's what my car looked like inside. It was just filled with Rubbermaid containers and contractor bags and old props and wigs and all these things that needed to go to the thrift store. And it was all jalopy being wheeled off of this thing to the Pep Boys. and they can't even look at it until tomorrow. Now I get it. Maybe they're busy. It didn't look that busy to me, but I don't know their schedule. I don't know how many people they had. I will just say it was 4 o'clock and they closed at 7 o'clock, and they couldn't do the $100 diagnosis that day. So they were going to do it the next day. So I went home, Ubered home, and they did it the next day. And I had to Uber to my eye doctor appointment. And then I come home and they contact me about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and they say, we figured out what it is. It's simple. There's a rip in some sort of hose that goes from the turbo to this, and it's been pulling in air and dirt. And so that's a problem. So you're going to have this line flushed, and you're going to have that done. And well, you're definitely going to need an oil change. Your oil's a little low, which, by the way, that's a little sus for me because I'm extremely diligent about getting my oil change, almost to a fault. I've gone to the same place to get my oil change, just a little mom and pop oil shop. I've gone to the same place 5 cars deep. I've gone from a Chrysler LeBaron to a Nissan Maxima to a Dodge Dart to I had a Chevy truck for a minute that I was leasing. I had a Dodge Magnum. I've had this, so 6 cars deep. I've gone to the same place, but suddenly I'm low on oil. And I remember the sticker was not that, but okay. So you're going to have to get an oil change. And listen, I don't think they were stealing money from me. I really don't. But I think that there was a lot of issues that probably could have been handled later, but I'm just not. It's so hard for me. I'm not a nickel and dime person. Like, I'm not that person that's like, well, I could push it over here and save $6. If I'm already there, just do it all. Just do it all up. And let me tell you something. They did it all up. They let me have it. They did so. I mean, I'm telling you, from the rooter to the tutor, they got inside, outside, every which way but loose. I would have thought I earned a free car wash or something. I mean, they did so many things. In fact, they did so many things. I'm going to tell you how many things they did. You know, when you go to CVS and they print out those receipts and the coupons, and you're like, wow, the receipt is so long with all the coupons on it. This is my receipt from Pep Boys of all the things that they did to my car, which, by the way, when they told me what they had to do, they said, most likely we'll have this done by 7 o'clock, which is when they close. They didn't have it done at 7 o'clock. They had it done the next day, which would be the third day that it was there. And I go pick it up at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, even though at 10 o'clock in the morning, they said it would be 10 more minutes. And they took my credit card and they gave me this receipt. And the only reason it's ripped right there, like consecutively, is because it was stapled to the bigger paper with all the itemized stuff. This is the receipt of things that were done. Now, I will tell you, they did apply a coupon. They did say, we want to make sure you have a coupon because, as I said, this whole thing it wasn't to like $2,000. I didn't pay $2,000. I only paid $1,921.14. So I can't be bitching that I paid them $2,000 because they did offer me a coupon, and I'll show you some of the deductions really fast. I'll tell you what some of them were. Coupon on the engine diagnostic, which was $99.99. They gave me a $5.94 discount. Some sort of fuel cleaning system thing. They gave me $3.39 off. A service intake kit, they gave me $2.55 off. There was another intake something, they gave me 42 cents off. A Pennzoil Pure Plus, they gave me $1.72 off. A Plat Sin Bulk, I'm thinking that might be some kind of oil, 83 cents. A store coupon for LAB 2689 of 3 cents. Another store coupon in the amount for a service kit of $2.38. A front brake discount of $11.04. Another coupon for a waste fee of 6 cents. A 95-cent coupon for a wheel balance and alignment, 95 cents. 70 cents off the TPS stem. 6 cents off the rebuild. Outside purchase, $1.19 a discount. I mean, they're giving you discounts. Don't get me wrong. They did bring that price down. You know, so, I mean, I feel like I should take a picture, like, like a dick pic picture, just like. This is me at Pep Boys. Just. So if you look on Instagram and you see me out there talking about, did you book a cameo today? This is why. Let me tell you something. Just a little something to take the edge off. Just a little something. Manny, Mo, and Jack, the best 3 friends your car ever had. There wasn't even a vending machine in the lobby. It's nothing. I'm going to save this. I'm going to have this tattooed on my body. God knows I've got the room. Look. Miss Pep Boys Continental. Okay. There she is. Miss Pep Boys Continental. Today, you have won car repairs in the amount of $1,981.14. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to the stage, Miss Pep Boys Continental, Delta Work. Delta, is there anything you want to say to your fans? Thank you, friends. Thank you for your support. With every one of your cameos, I'm able to drive another mile. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. You want to see me take a break? Maybe I want to see me take a break.